In this video, we are going to test transistor, NPN transistor and PNP transistor. So if you have something like this kind of transistor, right here I'm having, this is the small package of transistor, which is TO92 package transistor. If you look at the size, both are the same, and this is a very small transistor. And we want to identify this transistor is which one is NPN and which one is PNP. So we are going to test using digital multimeter. And what you need to have is a digital multimeter. You need to select your digital multimeter to the diode mode. So I already select diode mode. Why we need to select the diode mode on digital multimeter is transistor is testing as like a diode. So the first thing, we are going to test the diode here. If you check your diode, I have a small diode here, which from the diode black body to there is the white ring here, the white color ring here. So I just mark here in a small note here. So anode to cathode. So you have a reading. So that means positive to negative. For the short form, P to N. So we call it PN. That's when transistor is normally they call PN junction. Okay. So this is why we need to select a digital multimeter on the diode mode right here. After you selecting digital multimeter on the diode mode, so now we want to know this transistor is NPN transistor or PNP transistor. We don't know which one is NPN and PNP. So how to identify? You just pick up one transistor. I just pick up here right here. So I just click here. It's more easy to test it. So it will not fly away. The first pin you touch with the black, and in the middle the second pin touch with the red. You have a reading on multimeter. So I have a reading on multimeter 0.7. Okay, 0. It's not stable. I touch properly. Okay, I have a reading 0.667. And the black lead, you move to the top pin. I have reading 0.671. So I can count negative, black lead, N, P, N. I have all a reading. So N, P, N. This is NPN transistor. Okay, let's say if I do like the reverse mode, I put the black lead in the middle, red lead in the first pin. I didn't get any reading. This is the reverse bias. That's why I didn't get any reading. And the red lead to the top pin, I didn't get any reading. But if in the first way, I put in the middle red lead and the first pin black lead, so I have reading. So this transistor is NPN. Simply we can identify this transistor is NPN transistor. NPN. So NPN transistor, you remove, and I put here. This transistor is NPN transistor. Okay. We want to know this transistor is NPN transistor. We already know, and we want to identify which one is collector and which one is emitter pin. Sure, we already know in the middle one is in the middle pin is base. So we mark this is base, and which side is emitter, which side is collector. So base, this is P. I put P. Okay, you take a mark. 0.667. You have already a multimeter, so you mark. .667. Okay. From base to the top pin, I have a reading 0.672. 0.672. So we want to identify which side is collector and which side is emitter. So NPN transistor, this is a structure of NPN transistor. So from the collector is the small dove here, and in the middle is the base. So emitter is heavily doped. So you can see a lot of dot here, which is N. So emitter side is heavily doped. So which side is the reading is more heavy? 0.672. So that means this side is emitter. Then the rest, this side, collector. So we already know this transistor. In the middle is base, heavily doped. This side is emitter, and the less doped here is collector. Then another one. You take your transistor again. We didn't check this transistor in which number, but we just identify this transistor is NPN or PNP, and which side is emitter and which side is collector. So same goes to the first method. You apply, no matter which side you apply. Okay, the first method is like the okay, just like the first way. The first pin you apply with the black lead, the second pin with the red lead. You didn't get any reading in multimeter. We didn't get any reading in multimeter. You change your multimeter probe, reverse. The first pin in the red here, the second pin in black. So you have reading. The first pin move to the top pin, you have reading. So this is positive probe. So P negative probe and positive probe P. So this is P and P. So this transistor is PNP transistor. So which is right here, we're going to put a PNP transistor. Okay, this is PNP transistor, we already know. And we want to know which side is emitter and which pin is collector. So same goes to this transistor structure, but in the N junction and P junction will be different. So for this PNP transistor is N junction here, NPN transistor is P junction here. So for PNP, same goes to the first way. Collector dove is less, and in the middle is junction, N junction. Emitter dove is P. So emitter dove is heavily dove. So once you have a reading, emitter side should be heavily dove and should be more reading on your multimeter. So we try. So we already know this transistor is PNP. There we put black lead in the middle, in the base here, and the first is not touched properly. I have a reading base to the first pin 0.703. So you take mark 703 and to the top pin 0.708 0.708. So now we can see this pin is heavily doped, so that means this is emitter, and less doped, this is collector. So this is base. So this is the way how to identify NPN transistor or PNP transistor using digital multimeter. So if you check back your transistor, this is PNP transistor BC558. This transistor is BC558. If you check this transistor BC547, okay, this is how to identify transistor, NPN transistor or PNP transistor using digital multimeter. Thank you for watching.